going on out there? Hope you've been keeping your hygiene up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the COVID is kind of wearing down. I guess it's over. I'm not sure if it's still going or it's over. Like, you know, people ain't wearing a mask like that anymore. So I guess it's kind of done. You know what I'm saying? They're going to bring back all the, student loan payments again. You know what I'm saying? Because, COVID is over. But anyway, it's Achad, man. You on the Holography YouTube channel, man. And when you see that record, when you see that vinyl, it's for the record. It's supposed to symbolize, for the record. You know what I mean? So I'm speaking for the record. This is all put on wax, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, make sure you get that holography book. It's at my website here, holographer.com/the book, because I want you to become a holographer and be nothing less. You know what I'm saying? Deal with the whole thing. In this discussion today, we're gonna be, kind of digging into that by, speaking on things that I used to be into. Um, I'd say back in like 2005, maybe 2006, 2005. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I used to be into. Is right here. Yeah, I used to be into this stuff. This chaos magic thing. Chaos magic. So I'm pretty sure some of y'all already know what this is all about. We're going to just kind of go through this and I'm going to give you perspectives because this is about perspective chaos. Which what I mean by that is there are so many different fucking ways to see anything. There is never really one way unless dealing with holography, you combine all those ways of seeing things into one fucking perspective. So instead of dealing with my perspective, your perspective, her perspective, his perspective, their perspective, you know what I'm saying? We deal with perspective itself. So that will be common to anybody's perspective, whether you have a Christian one, you want to be chaotic, you want to be Muslim, you want to be Hebrew, or you want to be Hindu, you know what I'm saying? You want to be Wicca, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You want to be like whatever it is. We deal with perspective itself over here because there are certain constructs about perspective that are going to be universal to everybody's perspective, no matter what their perspective is. Even if you want to be one of these nihilists or atheists where they say, the universe and life and existence has no meaning and there is no God and all that stuff, but that's still a perspective to have. And if you think about eight, or excuse, is it eight now? They keep changing numbers, eight, seven, I don't know, 8 billion people. That's what they be claiming is 8 billion people on this whole earth thing. That's 8 billion different perspectives. And then if you want to account for animals and creatures we know nothing about, like some motherfuckers is now talking about aliens. They're deducing from what people are talking about in the news, talking about aliens when it could have just been artificial intelligence. They didn't really specifically say it was an organic life form. They just said it was some sort of non-human intelligence. Well, that can be AI. But anyway, I'm not on to that right now. When you account for these different perspectives, then what you would want to do is, well, what ties them all together? What's the common denominator of all of them? Because now you're getting into perspective itself rather than someone's perspective. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people refuse to admit how subjective their objectivity actually is when they're sitting here talking about something that, objectively is really a strongly held subjective belief system. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we get into stuff like chaos magic, one of the things that I remember about reading this book and being into stuff like Principia, Discordia, like for example, if you're into chaos stuff, you'll know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll briefly go through it as we talk here, but one of the main takeaways I took from this book here, the Peter J. Carroll, Liber Null, and Psychonaut Introduction to Chaos Magic, is there is never one way of seeing things. No, there's never one way of seeing them. And it also ties into some that I like putting on my Instagram page from time to time is that, you know, everything is made up, B, stay woke. Even the most deeply ingrained beliefs you have about anything started with someone saying, we're going to see it this way. And then everyone else started seeing it that way or choosing to see things that way. So tell me a time where, like, for example, the belief system you have now, the things you believe in, the things you think are true. Someone made that up. Someone made it up. Did you make it up? Because if you didn't make it up, then someone else did. So who made it up? And what was the purpose behind them making that up? Like, for example, we talk about race in this world. We talk about, ethnicities and racism and, just races of the world. Like, who made that up? Who made it up? Because you now have to start talking about, your Darwins and your Carl Linnaeuses and people that came up with these race theories about, this is the black race, this is the white race, this is the Chinese race or Asian race, this is the Middle Eastern race. These are all constructs. And what you need to understand about constructs is that if something can be constructed, it can be destructed or deconstructed. Meaning, if I build it up, I can take it apart. If I make it, I can destroy it. If I assemble it, I can disassemble it. So again, you got to think about all the things you believe right now. All the beliefs that everything you think is true. Who made that shit up? Because it ties into chaos and chaos magic, and more importantly, alchemy. Because chaos magic is nothing but a modern day term of dealing with alchemy. Because again, alchemy, coming from someone who practices alchemy, alchemy is always dealing with the chemia of it all. Chemia is the substance from which everything else springs. Everything else is made, everything else is birthed or brought forth. So you being an alchemist is you saying, I'm a person who deals with that substance from which everything else springs. And from that substance, I can create anything I can dream up or visualize or do. So from that perspective, everything becomes a offshoot or a spin out or spin-off of the one true element being that chemia. So chaos and chemia are like this. They're the same damn thing. So again, one of the takeaways from a book like this is that, a lot of occultists know all about this book here, is that you don't have to have one perspective about anything. You don't have to be locked into any perspectives. You can freely choose and switch in and switch out perspectives as you need to. So, for example, if I want to be a Christian today, I can do that. I can listen to gospel music. I can listen to Kirk Franklin, make me want to stomp. You know what I'm saying? Do you want a revolution? I can do that today. And then tomorrow be a whole different type of religion or philosophy. I can be a Satanist tomorrow. I can sit here and do this all day. You know what I'm saying? Let the bodies hit the floor. I can have horns on, you know what I'm saying? I can do that. Then the next day, or even just that night, I could be Christian again, or a Muslim, or a Hebrew Israelite, or an Egyptian lover. I can be who I can take on any perspective. I can shapeshift mentally or shapeshift psychologically or in my belief system. I can do that. I can switch up at any moment. That's the main takeaway I got from books like this. Condensed Chaos is another book. That's what I got. This is a better, definitely a better cover. I love this cover better than the other one. We're gonna stick to this cover. I like this one. I can switch that up at any given time because then I would become what's called a chaot, which is basically a person of chaos. You're a chaos agent. Like Heath Joker, you know what I'm saying? Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight. I'm an agent of chaos. Or even Havoc from Mortal Kombat. Like I'm a cleric of chaos. Like I come here to undo all your structures and you know what I'm saying? I can switch up at however I want to switch it up. That's what makes you the chaos. You don't have to be locked into no perspective whatsoever. And in fact, you can create your own perspective, just like I was saying in this Mortal Kombat video that I made the other day. You know what I'm saying? You can create your own mythology. You can create your own religion, because you're the religions that some of y'all follow or people that in this world follow. Someone had to come through and provide that to you. So my question is, what was the purpose of them making what they made? Another book that's in this whole lane is this whole cyber magic thing. Advanced Ideas in Chaos Magic by the same guy as Peter J. Carroll. He's like the topmost scholar in this whole chaos magic thing that people practice today. You know what I'm saying? But again, I can switch perspectives as I need to. I can be a Muslim tonight. I can be like, I'm not eating pork tonight. I can be that. I can sit here and do the 5 prayers a day. I could do that today. And then tomorrow be a fucking degenerate. You know what I'm saying? According to them. I could be you know what I'm saying, and a motherfucking a Wiccan. You know what I'm saying? I could be a Wiccan tomorrow. And then the next day I can be, I don't know, just naming shit. I can be a Hindu, a yogi, because I can switch my perspective like that. I'm not someone that can lock that, I need to lock into any type of way of being. I am being itself. So that means I can put on constructs like I put on clothes on my flesh. Today I can wear, t-shirt and khakis. Tomorrow I can sit here and wear a full-fledged tuxedo. Next day I could just wear, a wife beater and some dirty jeans. You know what I'm saying? Some Tim boots, and go out there and thug it up. And then the next day, you know what I'm saying? I could put on a Speedo and go swim in the pool somewhere. So as you, if you are being itself, you can sit here and shape and twist and, construct yourself however the fuck you want to do it. As a chaot, even looking at a symbol like this 8-pointed star, like it's telling you, like, nigga, I can go in any direction I need to, not locked into any direction. I can go this way, I could go that way, I can go up, I could go forward, back, side to side. You know what I'm saying? This kind of, proves my point. I could be, if we can have a whole poker table, I could be with Baal or Baal, however you pronounce that, Osiris, Quetzalcoatl, Zeus, Loki, and the Jade Emperor. These are all different deities from different parts of the world, from different mythologies and religions. I can be all these motherfuckers in one if I so desire, if I so construct it that way. This may be a nasty reference, but if you watch the movie The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, pay attention to the thing in that movie. Disgusting, awful sight to see, but the mode of how I can mold myself into anybody or anything, and then even mold myself into forms you never even seen before. Pay attention to that movie. Don't get so much into the gore and what I'm saying, the disgusting special effects. Get into the actual theme that's being presented there. Like, this is a creature that can become whatever the fuck it wants to become. It can assimilate and it can create new forms and new shapes. It's not one thing, but it's described or referred to as the thing. It's a thing that could become anything else. That's the kind of like the basis of this whole chaos thing. And then there's this book here, Principia Discordia. It's like the Bible of this whole chaos thing. And it's really just two dudes that just created a fucking religion. They just made it up out of, so-called thin air. They just made it up. Everything's made up. They can stay woke. And you can, in this type of way of being, is a direct challenge to people who want to hold on to certain traditions and, widely held beliefs and uh things that people just latch on to and they never kind of escape it, out of safety and security for whoever they chose to be, right? There's Hindus that will never break out of that Hindu religion at the end. There are Christians that'll never stop being Christians. There are Muslims that will keep praying 5 times a day. You know what I'm saying? There are Buddhists that will never leave the Himalayas or the Tibetan temple. You know what I'm saying? But with this type of shit with Discordia, it's like you can just make some shit up. You can make up a religion relying, or excuse me, make up a religion around your favorite cartoon character. You can make a religion surrounding reality TV. Y'all can make a church surrounding. You can do that. Who's stopping you? Who's your limiter? Like who's sitting here saying you can't do it? Because again, dealing with this chaos stuff, there is no bounds. You know how the Joker was saying, there's no rules. A world without rules. Or at least we don't have to follow your rules. Now, what's interesting about this stuff is that I was into this shit before, like, I was into social media where you find other people that's into it. So I didn't know there was such a large, community of people that are out here doing chaos magic. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's people in the world that that was doing like at the time I was. I'm just saying I never knew it was that big of a community surrounding this stuff until years later, like around I'd say like maybe 2014, 15 is where I started to interact with other people that are into this type of chaos magic. Because I thought I was alone and I was the weirdest motherfucking, most eccentric motherfucker from where I live at. You know what I'm saying? I was always into this wild shit. Just like I said, it's just I never came across anybody else who was until I got on social media. But yeah, man, this chaos stuff, yes. Libra chaos, another one. Again, who's to stop you from having the perspective that you have? You can switch up perspectives. This is why I'm not, I'm not someone who likes to disagree with people now, because that's your perspective. Like, how the fuck I'm, what? That's you're the authority of your own perspective. Where you may like trip over your own feet is that where you try to take on a perspective that like for example, if you're going to take on like a Hindu perspective about things, but then your knowledge of Hinduism is limited. So now you have a limited perspective on that. And in that way, how can you become the authority on that Hindu philosophy when your Hindu philosophy is limited? You know what I'm saying? But in this sense of where you create your own perspective, I become the authority of that. So again, I can sit here, write books and do presentations and YouTube videos on my own perspective. And now I become the authority on that. So now if I get you to fucking submit to this or to, feed into it and to believe it, now I become your fucking saint. I become your, your leader in that. So think about all these different type of religions, philosophies, ways of life that people do or have been doing. Somebody had to come up with that first. Somebody had to do it. Because now if you just have Christianity, then why now do you have all these denominations? Because you have people who have their own perspectives on the original idea. Why didn't it just stay Christianity? Why do we have to have baptism and Pentecostal and Presbyterian and Mormon? Like, huh? Why can't it just be Christianity? Why do we have to have these? Because people have their own perspectives. They're veering away from the original design of that shit to come up with something new or just some sort of subsidiary of the original. But my point is, that's someone else's perspective that you're falling into. Where's your perspective on things? Where's your idea? Where's your religion? Because another thing that I got from this whole chaos magic stuff is it's like you're being encouraged to be your own pope or popess if you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the pope of my own church that I create my own religion. Why do I have to follow behind anyone else's viewpoint on anything? I don't care how fucking authoritative they are in that lane of, thinking, or in that academic space or wherever. So what? I don't have to follow behind them. If I'm my own authority, if I'm the pope of my own shit, I come up with my own way of life. I mean, I don't even have to share it with you. My way of life could just be self-contained, and I never have to come out here on YouTube or Patreon or whatever, or Instagram or Facebook or whatever. I don't have to share that way of life with you that I created, that I came up with. I don't have to bring you in. I don't have to recruit you into my perspective of things. I never have to do that. So, you got people that, want to be traditionalists, and that's fine. You want to stick to something that someone else created, centuries ago or thousands of years ago, be my guest. But to say that my way is, somehow less right than yours, or my way is extremely wrong. Nah, so now you're debating opinion. That's not an objective fact. That's not an objective fact for you to say, oh, the way you're looking at things is better than how I look at them. What are you talking about? The only way you can really make a gauge of that or a measurement of that is, like, for example, if I'm Muslim and you're Muslim and you know more Muslim stuff than I do. So in that case, yeah, you can be more correct about the Islam shit than me. But when it comes to, if I'm outside of the bounds of your Islamic construct, you know what I'm saying? There's no fucking way you can sit here and say, and be, correct about it, and saying that I have an incorrect way of living or incorrect perspective on things. Nah. That doesn't stick in the scheme of things. It doesn't stick. This is chaos. I can switch up how I want to. I could be a Muslim, Christian, a Jew. I could be all these three things in one day if I so desire. And some people can't comprehend it because, again, they're only stuck on one perspective, and that's the perspective they'll always have, or construct they'll always adhere to going forward. Until, if they decide to be persuaded by you getting them out of that perspective or that construct, or, having them switch it up. Because, again, who the fuck is my authority? If I don't accept you as my authority, you'll never be that. You only have an authority in your life because that's what you accepted about yourself. You and your construct, you think you need someone to be your authority in your construct. So imagine the day you break the fuck out of that. You break out of that and you become your authority. Imagine that. It could be frightening. Some people don't want to do it because they have it ingrained in themselves that they have to submit to some authority within that construct that they chose. So if you want to be a Tibetan monk or Buddhist monk, you got to sit here and, I guess, submit to some elder monk's way of looking at things. But that's if you want to be a Tibetan monk. If you're outside of that construct, they don't have any authority over you whatsoever. They don't have the fucking monopoly on wisdom. They don't have the monopoly on spirituality unless you give that them, unless you allow them to have that over you. Because what I've been seeing also, just being in this whole conscious community, I see a lot of people submitting to, what these Hindus have been saying or what these Buddhists are saying about spirituality. Again, if I don't accept these motherfuckers as my authority, fuck what they're saying. Who gives a fuck what they saying? They're giving you their perspective on something that is beyond any of us here or whatever constructs we come up with. This is chaos, remember? This is chemia. This is the cheme or chemia in alchemy. I can shape and form that chemia any way that I so fucking desire. Who gonna stop me? Huh? You? All you can do is accuse me of being incorrect or accuse me of being sacrilegious. That's the only thing you can do because I'm not submitting to your religious or spiritual authority. Do this how the fuck I want to do it. I'm the pope of my own shit. I'm the authority. So I could be a satanic Christian if I so desire to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I can only I can be like, okay, I'm gonna be a satanic Christian today, and then tomorrow I'll just go back to what I was doing. So to them, you got to sit here and commit to that satanic Christianity for your entire life. You have to be that your entire life. Not in this shit right here. Not in this chaos shit. Do what the fuck you want to do. So keep thinking you need an authority. What do you need an authority for? Now I understand someone guiding you. Like for example, somebody can guide me to be more chaotic. Like if you're not as chaotic as me, I can kind of guide you into being way more chaotic than you are at this moment. You know what I'm saying? I could do that. But as far as being your fucking authority, no, I'm not your authority. I live a life where I am no one's slave and I am no one's master. I'm not in that construct. Some of you are in that construct where you think you need to, own people or let yourself be owned or be governed by other, outside forces or individuals. That's what you submitted to. That's your choice. That's your perspective. That's your, what I'm saying? That's what makes your boat float. You know what I mean? Don't make my fucking boat float. That's why I ain't in it. Hold on. Can y'all still see me? This Apple mouse made the page go away. Hold on. Hate when it does that. I think I'm still. I should. You should still be able to see me. There we go. Hold on. I don't know if you can still see me, but I'm still keep talking. So going back to this picture that I had already pulled up, I can be all these different religions and myth. I could do this all in one day. Because when it comes down to the chemia or the chaos of this shit, all these deities are nothing but constructs of that one element. They are just shapes and constructs for that one element, that chemia, to form itself into. Even if you go to, like, for example, it's best explained, or one of the best ways it's explained is dealing with Greek. Hold on. There we go. So chaos being this mythological void state preceding creation of the universe. You know what I'm saying? But I even go as far as to say it's the actual element of mind itself. So I know you've probably seen this image before of this chaos. Now, even though they're saying it's Greek mythology, it's really alchemy in and of itself. That's what it truly is. Because from this so-called black substance, everything else is created. Everything else is formed. And not just physical. We also talk about metaphysical. We're also talking about ideas. You know what I mean? From this so-called void, all these ideas come to pass. So if you can create an idea, you can destroy it. If you can construct an idea, you can destruct it, deconstruct it. So when you deal with this stuff right here, this is what you're aiming for. You're aiming to see things from this perspective. this I within, this whole storm of creations, constructs, configurations, you know what I mean? So from this perspective, I can go into your construct, see things how you see them, be how you are, and then fucking shape shift into something else. I'm at liberty to do that. I've freed myself to be able to do that. So look at these arrows on this one symbol. It's like you can go in any direction from that center. You can do that if you so desire. Everything is made up. That's one thing that I learned being an alchemist. Everything is made up. You can make up anything. Your ideas as they come, you can make that up. So it makes you then sit here and see everything else as a construct that can be made up and destroyed, or you can get into it and get out of it whenever you so desire. That's what we call perspective chaos. I can have all perspectives, any combination of perspectives at any given time or moment, and then shed them the next. Look how powerful I became doing that. How powerful you could become doing that. We talking about the eye here, the eye of the storm of creation. So even some of these deities that y'all like latching yourselves onto, they're just constructs of this one chaos, this one element. Someone had to be a vessel for that construct to come through. So any talk about a god or a deity or one of these entities or whatever, that person was merely just a conduit or a vessel for something that this entity, ultimate chemia, this element, is just shaped into. So Baal, Osiris, Quetzalcoatl, Zeus, Loki, and the Jade Emperor are the constructs of chemia. They are merely molds for this black substance to form itself into. They have their rise and then they have their fall. You know what I'm saying? Even like a show like or here this show, what's the show called? American Gods. Let me pull that up right quick. Like this right here, this show, which I've only watched the first two seasons. I wasn't interested because they took out what's his name? They took out Mr. Nancy. He was the best part of the show, in my opinion. So when they took him out, they started to see how he was kind of rallying up indigenous peoples, with his revolutionary speeches and shit like that. So they was like, nah, we're gonna cut him from the third season. And then after that, I wasn't even interested in it. Damn, I haven't seen him yet. Where is he? But like I said, even when you're just looking at all these deities that you see in hold on, I just seen a picture I'm gonna pull up. Hold on, no, that ain't it. Hold on. Here we go. So these are basically all, for the most part, these are all different deities that are from the old world for the most part. And they, as people immigrate to Americas, they bring their deities with them. Some of them do. So this show is all about these deities trying to gain prominence again in a world where technology, globalization, and media are now the new gods of this world. Everybody has a phone, everybody's constantly on the internet, and now everything's globalized where you have this homogenous um uh system, you know what I'm saying? So now what you're watching in America, someone all the way in China is also enjoying that media or that, that movie, that TV show. So that kind of makes us all one in that sense. That's globalization. Instead of each nation having their own distinct thing and being outside of the global community, it's all now one. So now these old world gods like, Odin and Anansi, um, what else? Kali Ma, any of these deities, you know what I'm saying? What's her name? Astarte or Easter. These deities are trying to reassert themselves they're trying to gain back power over people. They had their time, but they're trying to, you know, so they don't die out from people forgetting about them. So they don't want to be forgotten anymore. Like Bilquis, you know what I'm saying? She's the goddess of love or whatever. So she's in danger of people forgetting about her, and now she doesn't exist anymore, or she doesn't have her power anymore. But the point of me bringing this up is the fact that these are still just constructs of the one substance. So it's a construct that doesn't want to die out. It wants to keep being active in people's minds and imaginations and spirit. You know what I mean? So, for example, if you know the understanding of polytheism, you know what I'm saying, and monotheism, where they classify different religions or belief systems as you're following one god or you're following a pantheon of gods. You know what I'm saying? So they like to characterize, polytheistic religions as a lot of pagan and um it's almost it's pagan to a lot of people, as opposed to the Abrahamic religions like Islam, Christianity, Judaism. You know what I mean? But from a chaotic perspective, who gives a fuck? From a chaotic perspective, who gives a damn? From a chaotic perspective, who gives a shit? It's all just chem. It's all just chemia, chaos. So these are just solid forms of a solid chaos or chemia. That's it. I don't care where you at in the world. This is even more chaotic. Reach gnosis while looking at pictures of Britney Spears. Freak out, reassess whole life. So you could create a religion around Britney. You can create a shrine in your bedroom or in your closet because you don't want your mom and them to see, around Britney Spears, and worship her as your patron god. You can do that. How are you wrong? Who are you wrong to by doing such a thing, or performing such an act, or say partaking in such ceremonies for Britney Spears? What do you think this whole beehive is? Hold on, let's bring that up. This is a religion, y'all. You can worship Beyonce if you want to. You can do that. They even got symbols from old world religion, like the bee. You can worship this. You can become a believer and a follower of the Beehive. You can go to church to this. How are you wrong? Hell, even if you're a man, you can become one. You can be in the Beehive too. You'll probably be a rank below the women because it's a woman based religion. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you get to be in it. Hell, they even got shit like this, man. Hold on. You think this is a game, nigga? You can even do this if you want to, man. You can do that. How are you wrong? Because the only people you would offend is, the traditional Christian. This is funny as hell. Is God anti-gay? That's funny. But anyway, you can do this. You can get down with this. You can worship this. And my point is, how would you be wrong? Who are you being wrong to by doing it? Who's to say you can't take Christianity in a gay direction? Who's stopping you? Because again, back to this shit right here, back to this stuff. How are you wrong? Everything is made up, niggas. Stay woke. How are you fucking incorrect? Unless, of course, you go into this and then you have people within the gay Christian community that, they want to argue amongst themselves about, how gay you should, like, how do you do this stuff? Because then you can have like two different gay Christians that'll sit here and argue and have problems with each other's way of doing things. It's like, nah, you ain't. They could be like, you ain't gay enough in it. You're still in the class. You're not gay enough. They can have that argument, and then that splits. Right now, you have these gay Christians who believe this, and then you have these gay Christians that believe that. And things like this, and not even just in this shit, like it can keep splitting to the point where each person has their own religion. So now you can have 8 billion religions. If 8 billion, each of those 8 billion people decide that this is the way I'm going to worship or, believe, you know what I mean? You can that can happen. It's a possibility. So now going back to this, anything is possible. The possibilities are endless. Because on surface value, shit like this doesn't even make sense to most people. It doesn't make sense. Oven baked clay, suddenly 10,000 new talismans. That don't make sense on the surface. Like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? However, it makes perfect sense if you can create anything, it makes perfect sense. Because you can definitely put clay in the oven, bake it, and then crush it and mold it into 10,000 new talismans. Can you not? You do it long enough. Because that's your way, right? But when I'm sitting here coming out with a book like Holography, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you cop that. The website is streaming below here on the bottom of the screen there. What I'm saying is, what is their common denominator? What's the thread that ties it all together, no matter how different it looks on the surface? So how do we take these trillions of fragments and put them together back into one whole? Hence holography. So we're not talking about just my way or your way, her way, his way, their way. We're talking about way itself. Way in and of itself, way just as it is. Now we're getting into principle. So when you look at like a symbol again like this is way. It's not any it's in all directions. It's way itself. That's this is what's truer and more to actuality than any of its offshoots. So you being a gay Christian, that's an offshoot of the way. You being a Greek mythology type of person, that's one way of the way itself. You wouldn't even just be a chaos magician. That's one way of way itself. You want to be a Tibetan monk? That's a way of the way itself. So way is more actual than any of its offshoots, subsidiaries, subsections, and constructs. That's what you this is the point of getting to the eye of the storm. Because now you see it all. You accept it all as way itself. As you experience and be existent in this whole construct of things, all you see, you're seeing all ways if you're paying attention. No matter, even if you say my way is wrong, your way is right. Even if you're on that shit, it's just way. So that even brings up shit like this, right? Hold on. So now this becomes even more important to the discussion. The way, Tao, or Tao. And even in this, you don't have to see it that way. You could be like, no, it is not that way. It's this way. I'm saying we're focused on way, not any type of way. You have ice cream, then you have the flavors. You niggas get caught up in the flavors. I'm on the ice cream. You're trapped in a flavor. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, as a, dealing with this chaos stuff, you don't have to be trapped in a flavor. You can have all the flavors of all ice creams in one bowl. And eat either flavor whenever, what I'm saying, you want to. Because now again, this is about principle. It's always about principles with me. Go watch my video, the Jadakiss Chamber, teaching you principles. Teaching you principles. Because that is what outlasts any of these ways, religions, philosophies. It outlasts that. Like, for example, if you dealt with the whole age of Pisces or the eon of the fish, then Christianity, that was the main way of doing things during that era. But that era has its time. It has its place under the sun. Now it's shifting to something else. We're getting into the Aquarius of this shit now. Now, it's not to say that you need to just stop doing the way of the fish. It's just that the way of the fish this isn't its time. Now we're in the way of the water bearer, the way of the electricity, the way of the, social justice and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? The way of the internet. This is the era where it shines. The sun is shining on Aquarius right now, and then also on the opposite end of the wheel of the zodiac, Leo. That's why niggas is around here wearing all these locks and dreads. You know what I'm saying? They look like lions and shit. That's not something where it's like, it's just some random shit. You know what I'm saying? Hell, if you was really brolic, you create your own fucking zodiac. You create your own astrology. If you was really into this stuff, hell, I created my own zodiac sign. Have you done that? Here, let me see if I can find it on this internet. Hold on. Nigga came up with his own fucking zodiac sign. There I go, Alex Will 64. Here's my zodiac sign. Since we talking about making shit up, I made up my own zodiac sign. Have you? Who said you had to conform to the 12 or the 13 motherfuckers when I'm bringing Ophiuchus? I brought it into my own sign. Hold on, it doesn't say it on this post. Where's the other post where it says it? Hold on. because it was a post I had before that where I explained of having your own. Is it this one? Hold on. Yeah. I put it right in this caption. I produced this new constellation sign known as Alzalius as a way to bypass the zodiac, 12 to 13 signs, tropical or sidereal or Vedic or Uranian. So there is a Uranian astrology for those who don't know. So I created my own fucking zodiac sign. Now, won't I anger and upset fucking astrologers and motherfuckers that sit here and do horoscopes all day? Yes, because they'll be like, "Hey, you can't make up your own sign. This is already established." And but according to this and this and this, I can definitely fucking do this, and I did it. Who gonna stop me, huh? Who gonna stop me? I already did it. So you gotta think about you're an you're in an existence where someone is showing you that they created it was possible for me to have the idea to create my own zodiac sign. So the idea came to me from whatever source, and now I made it possible. I manifested it. So what's stopping anybody else from doing this? What's stopping you from doing any of this stuff? Hell, it's people that created their own gender. Talking about they gender fluid. What's stopping you from creating your own gender? You can create a gender now. You know what I'm saying? And be out there in the at the U.S. government trying to get rights for your new gender, so that they don't discriminate against you or commit hate crimes against you. You can now have a community and a flag for your own new gender. This is chaos, is it not? Came up with his own motherfucking zodiac sign. What else I wanted to show you? Hold on, it was just on the tip of my tongue. Hold on. I forgot. It'll come back. But like I said, man, going back to like I said, books like this, the Liber Chaos, the Liber Null, Condensed Chaos, these type of books. And it's not even where I gotta sit here and go by everything they're saying in their books. See, that's where niggas get caught up. I can sit here and just be inspired to go in my own fucking direction. I don't gotta sit here and go by everything in this book. But what I'm inspired by is they just made the shit up on the spot. Or how is Principia Discordia, or how I found Goddess and what I did to her when I found her. The magnum opiate of Malachi Clips the Younger. They just made this shit up. They just came up with it on the spot. He said, hold on. So see now, here we go. So does it have an astronomical correspondence? Well, I can make it that if that's how I choose to see it. Because again, you look at all the constellations in the sky, like these constellations have been, passed down from millennium to millennium to millennium to millennium, or age to age to age to age to age. But who says you can't go fucking outside tonight, get some pencil, and then draw new constellations with those stars? Who's stopping you? Who's stopping you? That's what I'm saying. Like, who's stopping you from doing that? You can create your own fucking constellation. You can take a star from Orion, tie it to somewhere in Alpha Draconis, and then put it in Delphinus, put in Ursa Major. Like, who's stopping you from doing that? Because a lot of you are too stuck on someone's conventions. And again, I'm not even saying you're wrong for sticking to those conventions. This isn't about right or wrong. This is about Your way, my way, his way, her way, and their way. Or the highway, pal. You know what I'm saying? Hit the road, Jack. Because a motherfucker that want to come and doubt you and be like, oh, you can't do that. Nigga, I just told you that I did it. Or that it could be done. That you can sit here and create your own fucking constellations. Because you live in a world where motherfuckers always got to be right. They want to sit here and be all, correct and saying that their objective truth is the highest truth to be had. Well, again, I've discovered some shit where it's like, well, I can dismiss your authority on the subject. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to abide by any of your established rules or constructs. You know what I'm saying? I can come up with that on my own if I so please, if I so desire, if I'm so inclined. You know what I mean? I can do that if I so desire. Who gonna stop me? Even shit like this whole Kabbalah and all this stuff. I could create my own fucking chart for this stuff. I don't need to follow behind that. You afraid somebody gonna say, "Oh, that's not the right way to do it"? Well, bitch, I wasn't trying to do it that way. So you just wasted breath telling me that. Got people, you know what I'm saying? You be online just typing this stuff up. You got people coming, oh, that's not the right way it's supposed to be done. Get your dumb ass out of here. Who says it's right or wrong? You're not the authority on the correctness and the wrongness of that situation. I don't accept your authority. Even for people that sit here and like trying to recommend books. I'm like, hey, I can recommend my own book. If I have a way of looking at that shit, fuck whoever else got anything to say about it or their own viewpoints. If I don't accept them as authority, you do, but I don't. So who are we trying to? What do you? Who are you trying to? You know what I'm saying? He said you're supposed to. Hold on, let me put your comment up here. You're supposed to make them. Oh, you're supposed to make them your. You forgot the R there. Your own. Each culture is explaining the same thing from their own perspective. What do you think this symbol is? Why do you think the name of this discussion here is perspective chaos? It's an encouragement here to be your own pope, to be this eye within the storm of all these fucking creations. If this nigga from 1788 can create this, then motherfucker was stopping me from creating something of that same caliber or degree. I don't have to share it with the rest of the humans of this population, but I can keep it contained if I show desire within my own self or within my own space. I don't have to sit here and have millions or thousands of fucking adherents to the things I believe. That doesn't satisfy me. You know what I'm saying? Some people need to go out and recruit all these people into that stuff. Knock yourself out. You know what I mean? He said, yeah, I love this shit. It's the creativity, really. Yesterday, I came up with the plan to build an altar inside of my freshwater aquarium. Never heard of that. You want some new shit that stemmed from looking into how I can breed my own food. So when you put it in the perspective of right or wrong, somebody will say, ew, why are you doing that? But from this perspective, and there are trillions of these perspectives, hey, go your own way. Come up with the new religion. Come up with the new astrology system. And if you want to, you want to make it a challenge, right? See how many people you can get on that wagon of yours. You know what I'm saying? Because you got shit like this. Here, this is what I was going to do. You got motherfuckers like this that come up with their own cult, their own symbols, their own way of doing it. Kanye is said to be tied to this shit. I don't know why. I don't know why Kanye is tied to this, but oh, they banned him. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh no, they banned him from Twitter. But this is new dude. Hairline all the way back here. That's his new manses. They come up with shit like this. Why can't I? Why can't you? And you see he done recruited Kanye West, aka Ye. One of the only rappers to make it to billionaire status, and this dude was able to. This weird ass nigga right here was able to get him into it. Some bullshit he could have made up yesterday, or just sitting fucking doing shrooms, or taking a fucking DMT hit and came up with all this shit. Something he made up. he farted out of his ass. Now you got Kanye following behind it, loving the smell of it. That's the beauty of this chaos shit, man. Whether he's right or wrong, whether he's fucked up in the head or not, whether he's sexually deviant or not, he got all these motherfuckers on his side. I admire that. It don't even have to be no aliens, nigga. It's the thought of the alien that brought you in. Because he probably making millions of dollars. He created all this stuff. Look at all this shit he made up. I seen a documentary where he has these women that are like, he is basically his stable of hoes, to be honest. Said the altar will always have a constant source of energy just based on the environment. Okay. Said, oh, the bliss, LOL, about to be out here making fart. Hey, do it. What's stopping you, my nigga? Because do you really have to have a group of people following behind your way of life? You don't have to do that. It could just be you. But again, I'm encouraging you to get to this part of your understanding where you see all perspectives. You are at the center of everyone's constructs. You are dealing with the element which makes everything else. Because it's just like being in a chemistry lab. Like you have people that are experimenting with these different chemicals to come up with a new chemical. So think about, you go to your mom in them house and she tell your ass to clean up behind yourself, clean that kitchen, that fucking bathroom. Think about the spray the cleaner. Somebody had to concoct some chemicals to then put that shit on the market for your mom to buy, to bring it to her home in a bag and put it up under the sink or in the cabinet somewhere. So then it can be pulled out and sprayed. You spray them fucking dead cell rings around your tub. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all don't be cleaning that shit. Your home training is shot. But that's just a way of looking at it, right? Because you can be like, oh, that's the ring of Saturn in my tub. I'm about to do a ritual in my tub to Saturn. Different ways of looking at it. Your mom ain't going to approve. You know what I'm saying? She ain't going to approve because you need to clean that ring around that tub. But again, someone had to sit here and say, oh, I'm going to put this bleach and this chemical, I'm put this scent into it so it smell like lemon or fabuloso, and then sell it to people and make millions of dollars. It's like a mad scientist fantasy. You know what I mean? Someone made that shit up. Here, let me bring this up. This Darius nigga from the what's his name? The Atlanta show. One of my favorite quotes. Everything made up, niggas. Stay woke. Thursday is made up, niggas. Stay woke. Someone made up Thursday. Someone made up the fucking 7-day week. They made that up. And now the whole world is in tune with it, is in line with it. Hell, I read something in the whole Kemetic mythology. The week used to be 30, oh, excuse me, 10 days instead of 7. So you would have 3 weeks a month, 10 days per week. Thursday is a made up thing. They made that up, yo. They made it up. So you can basically take out Thursday and put anything in that slot, and it would make perfect sense. Sexuality is made up, niggas. Stay woke. Cell phones are made up, niggas. Stay woke. Zeus is made up, niggas. Stay woke. Christianity is made up, niggas. Stay woke. Holidays are made up, niggas. Stay woke. That's one of the most alchemical statements you could ever say. Definitely a t-shirt. This is where I'm at with it. I don't know where you at, and I ain't trying to make you go nowhere. Whatever makes your boat float. Whatever makes your ship flip. You know what I'm saying? Whatever makes your yacht pop. You know what I mean? I need this shirt. Stay woke. This is even an enhancement. Unicorns are made up, but so is everything else. Stay woke, y'all. You need to wear that shirt, man. You deal with the shit I deal with. But hey, I ain't forcing you or making you do anything you don't want to do. This ain't this space. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I wanted to come here and talk about, man. It's perspective chaos. Trillion ways of seeing it. And one thing I want to leave you with, hold on. I want to leave y'all with something that I posted on my page and that I think will, you know, give you some motherfucking insight and direction. If you shall choose to take it. However you choose to see it, you must also be accepting of the consequences of seeing it that way. So that's kind of the other half of this shit. So if you want to see things that way, you also have to accept the what comes after that. There are consequences of seeing things any way that you want to see them. So you want to see it in that Islamic way, you have to accept those Islamic consequences. Because you're going to have people saying, well, there's people in the world that'll say, well, Allah is not real. There's no such thing as Muhammad and Khadijah. It's a myth. So that's the consequence of taking up that Islamic faith. There's always going to be someone that's going to deny it or don't think it's true or not believe it in as much as you do. You could be alone somewhere believing something like this. Like you can be the only Muslim in a block full of fucking Christians or something like that. That's a consequence of believing in it. So if you can risk, or you can take being alone or being, just by yourself in that religion or that way of thinking or lifestyle, then no problems going ahead doing it. But again, however you choose to see it, you must also be accepting of the consequences of seeing it that way. Because I would hate for you to sit here and try to uphold some sort of religion or a way of thinking and then get mad when the results you get from thinking that way or from believing that. Because there are religions and ways of thinking that are limiting on the perspective of how you can see things. That's a consequence of that. That's a consequence, my dude, my love. Hell, even like for example, you talk about constructs again, like you have this whole LBGTQ thing where you have these transsexual men or transsexuals who are saying to women, well, who says you have a control on if I can have eggs in my body or not, or I can have ovaries in my body or not? So now you seeing these transsexuals challenging womanhood. Now, a lot of us would be here, and I'd agree. Like you would sit here and be like, "No, what the fuck is you talking about?" But to them, and especially from this perspective, like this chaos thing, who to say that they wrong ultimately? Because if you can put ovaries in a man's body and he wants to act like a woman, and you can make the ding ding because they don't cut it off, they shove it up. They shove it up, and pay attention. They shove it up there. I didn't know that. I was ignorant. I thought they just slice it off and that's it. Nah, they shove it up. You know what I'm saying? So to them, they can do that, and they showing you that they can do that. Now there's consequences of doing it, but they showing you that it can be done. So if he want to say, well, womanhood is made up, niggas stay woke. That's a construct, is it not? Could you imagine a time where woman and man, like these constructs did not exist? Because when you go back to chemia or chaos, that shit is just chaos. It's just pure chemia. Then it starts taking shape to become woman, man, child. You know what I'm saying? But then again, if you can construct something, you can destruct it or deconstruct it. So that's what these transsexual motherfuckers is doing. They're deconstructing what it means to be a woman. That's what they're doing, whether you are with it or not. See, I'm on the side of, or I ain't gonna say side. I'm of the perspective of if it's you can think it, you can imagine it, you can achieve. You don't say that Jesse Jackson shit. If you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. That's what they doing. Who's to stop them? I don't even care to fucking stop them. Endless possibilities. Endless possibilities. You could have a dick and a pussy at the same time. It's called hermaphrodite. That's something that happens, is it not? And it falls outside of the construct of man and woman because now you have a person who has both genitals or genitalia. And these transsexuals are saying, well, if I can mold my parts into a feminine design, nigga, who's to say that? How you gonna tell me I can't be a woman? No matter how much backlash or how many women, natural women get upset about that. The proof is in the pudding. They are molding their male parts into female parts. So it lets you know that that construct of man and woman can be deconstructed. It can be destructed. You put it together, someone can come through and take it apart. You assemble it, it can be disassembled. Because the only thing that exists is this right here, or this is what this is symbolizing. Nothing but chemia. This is a zodiac sign I came up with. Hold on. This is the black substance from which all else springs. That's what I'm trying to, we're not trying to, I'm bringing it up right now. So if you were, this so-called alchemist, or you worked with the chemia, you made everything up. You were the conduit or the source of all these creations that came out during that time. That's what the alchemist is. Creating all this stuff for the rest of society to conform to get used to find comfort in. They create all this shit for you. So, like I said again, however you choose to see it, you must also be accepting of the consequences of seeing it that way. Just making sure we got that, saying down pat. Because you complaining about someone else's construct or someone deconstructing something that you believe in or you have faith in. Hey, it's just way. There's your way, my way, and look how it all coexists. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers with the bumper stickers that have like the symbols for all the religions and it says coexist. Pay more attention to that. There's a science to that. But anyway, man, this is Achad, man. I got to give a shout out to my Patreons right there, patrons. I meant, thank you, helping me out right there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And you definitely to get more of this shit in, to get this science, this education going on. I got the Patreon. Don't sleep on me with this shit, Mike. Stop sleeping on your broke. Stop sleeping on your broke. Way more lessons about alchemy and obite, all that stuff is all in there. Hebrew, cosmo, all that stuff. So if you got excited about this type of topic, we go much more depthical when you go to my Patreon. So sign the fuck up. What you waiting on? You know what I'm saying? So again, this is Achad. You know what I'm saying? Your way, my way, their way. It's just way. Greetings, folks. This is Achad. Had to cut into the video to let you know that this book here, Wholography, now it's on Kindle, Amazon Kindle. So if you have the Kindle service, you can definitely check it out. There's even a longer sample for you to read where you can really get into if you really want to know about my book or not. For me, it's more about getting the book out there rather than trying to make a sale exclusively. So but if you are one of those scholars where you want the book, you want to do some highlighting and some annotating, and you really want to tear it apart, which that's what I really want you to do, then definitely go to my website, holographer.com/the-book. You know what I'm saying? And do it that way. Either way is cool with me. And now back to the video.